Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Chasing Rust. Today we're going to change the front brakes on my 2015 Ram 2500 Heavy Duty. If you're like me and you haul a lot of stuff, you go through some brakes. So today we're going to do a quick, hopefully, how to change the front brakes here and save yourself some money. So stay tuned.
We ain't picking no rocks. Oh my gosh. Can't even breathe in here.
I don't know if you can see that right there. That's brake metal right there. It looks like metal to me. And let's get in here and look at these brakes. So this is your caliper. Brake pads are down in here, and you really can't see. This front side doesn't look too bad at all, but the back side I can already feel it's bad. All right, this is a two-part process because we have to take the caliper off to get the brake pads out, and then we have to take this bracket off to get the rotor off. Once this bracket comes off, the rotor will just slide right off of there. And I've done this a few times, so I don't know, this might be the second or third time I've done this, I can't remember. Anyway, so there's a bolt here and one down here. Here and right there. So we'll take those two bolts off. That'll get the caliper off, and then there's bolts back here to get this bracket off. All right, so now we got to take this bolt out right here. Now our caliper should come out if I had something to pry with. Stuck on something. This is how these things go. You always want to remember safety, so always put a jack stand under whatever you're working on. Don't trust your jack to keep your car, vehicle, whatever lifted up, because it could fail. And if it fails, it's coming down on you, so always use jack. All right, so what we got here, the problem is the pistons. There's two pistons here, one right here and one down here, and they are so far out because that brake pad is essentially gone that it's caught up in there. So what I need to do is a very essential part of how I change brakes is a C-clamp. So what I'm going to do is stick something down inside here. This is just a wrench or something down inside here to try to catch both of those pistons and see if we can't push them back into the caliper itself, and then this should come right off. You have to push those back in anyway because your new brakes are thicker than your old brakes, and so those pistons will be further out, so you have to push those pistons back in. You can do it with a C-clamp, you just have to go really slow and pay attention to what you're doing. Works just fine. I've done this for years. So okay, I couldn't get anything in there to get on both of them, so I'm just going to try to do one at a time and move it just a little bit, and then try to move the other one, and that way go back and forth. So you can see in here I'm touching the piston right there, and I'm on the back edge back here, and I'm through the front side right here. So if we just crank this down very slowly, stop periodically, you got to allow that fluid time to work back up into your master cylinder. See, it's already coming loose. You can see, yep, there it goes. And that's not good on your brake lines, but you know, wasn't planning on that. Okay, so now you can see here, if I can find something, get this off of there. Yep, we got the good out of that one, folks. There ain't nothing left. That is metal on metal right there, 100%. Let's see what the front one looks like. The front one doesn't look too bad, actually. Yeah, the front one's got, well, I mean, it's worn out, right? But it's got some stuff left. But not like that back one. So typically your back pad is going to wear faster than your front pad because that's where your pistons are, and it's constantly pushing. This one is just clamping on there. So this side doesn't typically wear as fast as the back side. And let's get you, I don't know if you can see that or not. Anyway, all right, so let's, we got to get these two bigger bolts off now. There's a bolt here and a bolt right down here. Take those two off, and then this clamp comes off, and then our rotor will just pop right off there. So stay tuned. Okay, so this back size bolt is a 15/16, and it goes right there, and then there's another one right up here. By the way, these front ones were 5/8. So the caliper bolts were 5/8. So 5/8 and 15/16 are the wrenches or sockets you're going to need. I'm using a breaker bar here because these should be fairly tight, I hope. And they were sort of tight. Tight enough, I guess. They hadn't fallen off. Now we'll just use the ratchet, because I don't have those fancy electric whizzle dizzle machines. I just do stuff the old-fashioned way. There's your bolt, one of them. And there's the other bolt. Now this just pops off of there. And then our brake rotor, this comes right off. Oh, it's heavy too. All right, let me get you in here. You can see, I mean, there's some grooves in there. That's like a record. Yeah. I don't know if this one will turn or not. So what I do is, years ago, I just bought new rotors and put on, and then I saved the ones that were on here, and that's the ones I just had turned. So basically I'm just swapping them out. So I'll save these until I need them next time. And see, that's pretty deep. I don't know if this one may not be any good. I think these were new when of course they were new, but I mean, I think what I'm saying is I bought these from O'Reilly's they're not the original to the truck. I think the ones that I'm putting on now are the original to the truck. So anyway, so while you're here, it's a good time to check your CV shafts and whatnot. I know mine is good because I just had that U-joint replaced about 8 months ago or so. You can see all the brake dust right there and metal. It's not really hurting anything. Probably should blow it off of there. So let's take care of that, and then we'll put the new rotor back on and put it back together. So here's our new rotors that have been turned. They got some little bit of groove in them, but they're not too bad. I don't know about that. I don't really like that one. This one is much better. But this one, you can see the grooves in it. That is not smooth at all. I think I'm going to take that to O'Reilly's again because I don't like it. They charged me 30 bucks to do this, and it should look like this, and it doesn't. So obviously I didn't see that when I picked them up because it's the back side. So here's our brake hardware. Here's our brake pads. These are the heavy duty brake pads for heavy duty applications, which is what we got here. So I'm going to run this to O'Reilly's and see if they can return that or give me my money back or something, because I'm not happy with that. Okay, after a trip to the O'Reilly store, I ended up having to buy new brake rotors. You can see how smooth these are, and you can see the difference, how not smooth these are. This one looks like a record. This is the worst one. So they turned them, took too much off of them, screwed them up. So I'm going to have to go back Monday and get my money back or figure that out. We'll figure that out later. Don't worry about that. So let's get these new brake rotors on. So we're going to put the new one on here. Just like that. Now we've got to put our bracket back on here. So we've got our bracket back on. We've got our rotor on there. We're getting her tight here. Okay, now take the breaker bar and oh, that's too far. Make sure you get them tight. that's torqued down to specs. Okay, so now what we're going to do, you can see these pistons are both out, right? So we're going to push them back in so that we can put our thicker new brake pads back on there. So here's how we're going to do that. Yep. What I usually do is take the old brake pad, because you know it fits, you know it's going to work, and then you take your clamp be ideal if you had it in the center, but we can alternate it from one side to the other. So again, you just want to turn this really slow, give it time. Don't be in a hurry doing this, because you're pushing the fluid back up in the reservoir. Now I'm gonna get over on this other piston, push it, make sure it's going in the right direction. It really doesn't take a lot of pressure to do this. It actually goes pretty easy. The key is to just do it really, really slow. Again, it's just a slow process. You can actually take the top off your master cylinder reservoir and it'll go a little faster, but you also run the risk you can squirt your brake fluid out of the top of the master cylinder. I've done that before, so you don't want to do that, obviously. Creates a mess and it's just not good. So I just go this way and go slow. I've got two C-clamps here. Might as well use two of them. This is working much better. Better stop for a minute. Let everything settle down in there. If you push too hard, you could, you know, push it back through a brake line or something and pop one or something. We're probably putting less pressure than what your brakes actually use for force, but you know, you just want to be careful, right? You don't want to be changing any brake lines, brake hoses, any of that kind of stuff, because that complicates the situation. Okay, now we're just going to let that set for a minute, and I'm going to go get the brake pads and we'll start putting those on. All right, so this is the part where people kind of get nervous and they're like, I don't know how to put brakes on. Well, these are all the same. So the brake pads are all identical. They all have the same hardware on each end, and all these little mounting, these are just the little rattle trap things, I call them. They're all the same as well, so you can't screw it up. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is put our little tabby things on the inside rotor, or on the inside bracket here, and because they're kind of the hardest ones to get on because you can't really see. So this little clip thingy goes on the outside, this little tab goes on the inside. So, and it just sets in there. I always just try to start it from the back and then take something and work it down in there if you can. Pop it down in. If I had a screwdriver it would work better, but I don't have a screwdriver, so. And that didn't work. Like I said, these inside are always the hardest ones to get. there. Just like that. Let's see if I can do this one from the top. Pop it in there. Just like that. They're in. Okay, so we're gonna undo our C-clamps here. So we're done with that. Take your old piece out, of course. And then we're gonna bring this down, and it's just going to slide on here. There we go. Just gotta get everything lined up. And we're gonna put our bolts back in. Putting the bolts in here and down here, and that's all. Put your caliper back on there, and that's basically it. All right, guys, brakes are installed. New drum, new pads, everything's good. Just got to put the wheel back on, and it's done. So just so you know, if I took this somewhere, you know, I'm looking at $500, $600, $700 or more probably these days to get this done in a shop. I've got about $80 or $90 in the brake pads, maybe a little less, $75, $80 in the brake pads. Rotors, I don't know, because they screwed them up and I had to buy new ones. So I'm not sure how we're going to work that out yet, but you know, if you got them turned, I was at $150 with the brake rotors turned and new pads. So let's just go there. I was $150 doing this myself, and it took longer to get all the parts and tools gathered up than it really did to do the work. So maybe an hour's work probably for both sides. You can do this. I'm here in my driveway. You can do this in your driveway, in your garage. It's easy. I don't have any special tools, any fancy nothing. I'm just using regular tools and a jack and a jack stand. That's it. So you can do this yourself. You don't have to spend that expensive money. If you know you got little kids at home or bills are tight, whatever, you can do this yourself. It's not that hard. There's 2 bolts. Take your caliper off. 2 bolts take that bracket off. The rotor comes right off. Slap your pads back on, put everything back together. It's pretty simple. It's not a hard task at all. All right, I hope you've enjoyed watching this how-to on putting brakes on a I call it Dodge. I will always call it a Dodge, but Ram 2500 heavy duty. I'm going to do the other side now. You guys pretty much saw me do this side, so probably don't need to watch me do the other side. Hope you've enjoyed this. If you have, hit like and subscribe. Watch our channel, Chasing Rust, and we're happy to have you guys stick around and watch some more videos. Thanks. Okay guys, one last very, very important step when you do this process. You need to start your vehicle and then pump your brakes a couple times to set those calipers in your brakes. Those pistons need to come back out and seat. So that's what we're going to do right now. You'll notice there at the very beginning, the brake was very spongy. It went all the way to the floor. That's all that fluid working its way back down to the calipers. The reason I started the truck is because you have your master cylinder, booster, and all that stuff, and it all works on vacuum and all kinds of electronic stuff. So you just want to start the engine, make sure everything's working properly. You didn't exactly see me, but I did move the truck backwards and forwards a couple of times to make sure that everything's working properly. Let those wheels turn over at least once or twice in each direction, and now we're good. We're good to go. But do not skip this step right here, because you won't have any brakes if you don't reset your brakes, recalibrate your brakes. Not a big deal, just got to do it.
Hope you enjoyed the show. I had fun. See ya.